And then what we were introducing today is we're introducing a whole new segment of training, because I've known about it for years and years and years, but we've never gone public with what we're now introducing into the school as well. And that's what we're now calling Protocols of Adversarial Resistance.
Which I'm very excited to dive into, because along the way you have become the go-to expert for Mormon families and missionaries dealing with pornography and self-abuse. And what you've finally done is created additional protocols, and you're launching it both in the school to teach your upcoming students how to implement these skills, and then you're also helping your clients, and there is online training courses now available that will help you get most of the work done and get your head wrapped around this in the privacy of your own home.
Yeah, so today's kind of the launch of that, and we're finally gonna just put it all out there and call it what it is. So this new course is to help people get out of pornography, because it's such a predominant problem in lots of people's homes and lots of people's lives and so on. And what this is about teaching people how to overcome adversarial entities that are actually involved in pornography. When it comes to pornography, I really don't like the word addiction.
Which definitely gets people riled up at first, because they want to say that it is, but if you see it through, and as you'll explain, they'll understand how empowering it is once you realize it's something you can control.
That's right. What I believe is Book of Mormon terms that are really what the addiction is. We would call it being captivated, we would call it being snared, we'd call it being seduced, we'd call it being trapped, we'd call it being enticed, bound, vexed. There's lots of words that would actually describe what addiction really is, but all of those are directly tied back to satanic influences. And the word addiction itself doesn't tie back to the source, okay? And so when the guys come in here, and usually they may want to challenge me a little bit with that, because they'll come in and say, well, you know, I'm a sex addict, or I'm a pornography addict. And well, what do you mean you don't believe in addiction? Being an addict means what to you? You have this disease, you're out of control, so you're justified in doing what you're doing. Is that what you want to tell me? Oh, well then you're going to tell me that you have to do it at work or at school or wherever else you're at, because on lunch breaks and so on, you just have to run out, you have to keep doing this? Well, no, because I'd get suspended or I'd get fired or whatever, right? So the challenge is, I say, look, if you can control it at work and home when you want to, you are in control of this. This is not a control issue. This is a motivational issue. So a lot of what we do differently is giving them the motivation to control it all the time. And that's a whole process.
They're halfway there.
That's right. And so what we're doing here now is just becoming open about the fact and idea that I've helped hundreds of young people get out of pornography, go on their missions, qualify to go on missions and so on. But every one of them that get out of it very quickly and permanently kind of thing have all been taught how to handle these adversarial entities and keep themselves free. And there's at least two of them that always attach themselves to us when we've been involved in pornography. The first one is a spirit of curiosity. So I identify evil spirits by their spiritual predominant gift, so to speak. There are spirits that attach who have this curiosity factor that, when attached, never allows a person to be satisfied. So they can look at 1,000 naked people or whatever. When they go to bed that night, they're disgusted with themselves, they hate what they've done, they feel bad, you know. But yet there's that part of them that still wants them to keep looking for one more. And you know, it's that part of them that wants them to keep looking at one more. Is really, when you pull the curtain back, is the attached adversarial entity that doesn't allow them to be free of that feeling, because that's the feeling that the entity has, and when it attaches to the person feels that feeling from them as though it was them.
And the minute you can learn how to separate yourself from it, you realize it wasn't you. Most of those thoughts that they're having so many challenges with are not even coming from their own spirit source.
That's right. These attached entities become what we would call familiar spirits. They become so familiar to us and the people think they're actually them, right?
Yep.
And so that's what they want to call the addiction, is this feeling that takes them way beyond the bounds. They don't feel like they can ever stop fighting it. That's where guys want to say, well, I'm white knuckling it all the time. I'm attempting to stay in control, but it's this battle, internal battle, between them wanting to be clean and stay clean and what they're being prompted to do from this attachment. So when we teach them how to resist these attachments and set themselves free, everything changes because the battle's over. And all of the fiery dart mind chatter, 2 Nephi 28:22 says the devil whispers in our ears. Just before that it says, I am no devil, for there is none, thus he whispereth in our ears. And so the devil and minions have the ability to bombard us with evil, negative thoughts. That's what's called a temptation. A temptation is a thought that is implanted in our minds by an entity or an evil spirit. So as you learn to recognize those temptations, and they come in as negative affirmations. So a lot of people want to say, well, does the devil use hypnosis? Well, is an affirmation that you create that you want to implant in your mind in a positive way. I'm clean, I'm worthy, I'm enough.
I'm worthy of love, all of those.
But the devil is whispering just the opposite. You're never enough, you'll never be good enough, you're unworthy, you'll never make it, you can't do it, you can't hack it. It's all about negative affirmations. So it's the same mind management process, it's just the devil jumps into the process in a deceptive way and wants to convince us with negative affirmations. That's how he uses it, because he knows how the mind works as well. So this is a matter of pulling the mask off of that, helping people to discern between the two and choose to follow the good side instead of what they've been tricked into believing on the opposite side.
They didn't realize how in control they already were.
Yeah, and so but then it's a matter of teaching them the rest of the control tools and amping up the motivation in their own minds to actually be clean and stay clean. We've figured out, and our claim is, we know how the imagination works. So the imagination turns emotions up or down depending on how you choose to manage your imagination. And one of the things that we do here is teach people how to actually turn their imagination up appropriately or turn it down and off for inappropriate material, which simultaneously turns off the inappropriate arousal or turns arousal up. So there's been some people, and usually women or even men with ED functions, where you actually have to turn the imagination back up and have them function normally in their marriages. So it goes both ways. With the kids, we're teaching them how to turn it off. So it gives them instant control over their body and their mind, but they do have to enact their mind in these ways. They have to manage it. That's why we call it mind management. Once they have the tools and the skills, they can manage their minds and they can stay in control. So the imagination can take the problem clear out to here, but then if you get it clear out to here and then they start to act out in deviant ways, that's where the adversary can actually come in and attach to them mentally, psychically, because once they're attached, they can constantly bombard them in their ears, and I call that mind chatter, where they're getting this constant bombardment of these temptation thoughts and these promptings to continue to do more and more of what they know on this side they profess I don't want to do. I'm sick of all that stuff, I want out of it. That's why they show up in my office. But yet they have these attachments that they think are them. They have all these feelings and emotions that they don't know how to deal with and haven't been taught how to handle. That's what we're doing now, yeah.
That is what is so empowering about what you do, is because you are able to teach people how to manage your mind, be in the driver's seat of your life. And for me, probably the most amazing day of my life is when you taught me how to turn off anxiety. So I can imagine for people who are suffering with pornography or self-abuse through that, it's gotta be the best day when they wake up and realize, wait a minute, I am in control.
Right.
Which is what you do every day.
Well, and other people without the pornography issue, what we really claim to do is to teach people how to be fully in control of your emotions. And one of the things that we do quite a bit of is I work with a lot of sports athletes, a lot of salespeople, teach them how to pick up those 50-pound telephones, overcome their fears and anxieties. But we also prep attorneys to take the bar exam, CPAs to take the CPA exam, doctors. So we're helping people in lots of different ways to know how to control, manage their minds, and do things at their own free will.
A lot of time that you just don't understand how the mind works, and you do, which is the coolest thing about what you do here. If you have questions about this and you want to know more, log on to CertifiedHypnotherapyTrainingschool.com or PositiveMindManagementServices.com. It is in both places. You can find his education section where there are all kinds of webinars living there where we talk a little further, a little deeper. We also have times that you have presented at seminars where you can learn more and educate yourself and get a lot of your questions answered answered right there, again saving you time
Right.
and money, because a lot of your initial consultations are answering questions before you really can dive in and do the work. And then if you know somebody who is suffering with pornography or self-abuse, or you are, then this is a great place to start, because you're able to get most of the work done in the privacy of your own home immediately right now by logging on.